Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm here with Doug for a special video in special camo, the Austrian new camouflage, by the way, that's now standard issue. We're gonna talk about Doug's custom build SSR77 A1, I guess. What did you do?
As you already mentioned, it's an A1, so base gun same as this. And for one of my outfits that I'm wearing for playing, I wanted to recreate the look of the Austrian Jagdkommando. They have an A3 version, which uses a lot of specialized parts. Since this is not available as airsoft, I went out to try finding some of these parts and also some extras that are not usually seen on an airsoft gun. Let's start from back to front. So this is Hülsenfang. It's a brass
collector,
yeah,
I guess.
Exactly.
Man, I haven't even seen it at the
Not a real one.
Like, where did they use this even?
Mostly in training scenarios when they have to catch up the points, or in special operations. Originally, I think the sense was for special operations when they don't leave the trace, basically.
It would be also useful when you fire blanks, because
exactly.
we always had to collect the blanks in the forest for hours.
And I think that was the main reason.
Okay,
later on it was used to recollect the blanks and you don't have to get out and find them again. It looks unique and a lot of people have never seen a real one. This is also the real steel version of it. I had to change something up because for this one, you can see that I filed this down here. Usually this goes a little bit higher, and since the scope height over bore of this version is already lower than to the original A1,
the very first one that was
exactly, because then otherwise this would be going into the scope. I mean, you see that I had to cut it up. Only that way it would fit.
And that's not just because you added this.
No, I tried it also with the standard scope and didn't fit quite well. But might also be differences between airsoft and real steel versions. If someone asks, well, how do you use the hop up? You have a little lever here because it's just plastic, so you can just move this up, and then you still have the case ejector, and so you can still change the hop up, and if you move it up, this plastic latches in and secures it.
Nice. Not ideal for a lefty, I guess.
No, not at all.
You can't do shoulder. Can you still do shoulder transitions? And look down on the sides.
It actually works.
You're kind of eating that.
Yes, but if you use the red dot, it kind of works, but you're eating it.
Depends on the face protection also. And that's purely visual, right? Or did you put a different battery in there or something?
Originally with the older classic Army AUG, I actually did use big style Tamiya batteries that I put inside.
Oh, you used this before actually?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you just got it.
No, and I reused it now for this one because just of the look. Because now I have enough, like with LiPo batteries, I have enough power in the stock. Now I just like it for the style and having it.
It's also what caught my attention, and which is why we make this video, because I was like, what? I've never seen this thing. What about the scope?
This is from Claw Gear. It's called the AUG modular scope cover.
It's really expensive, right? How much is it?
It depends, in between 100 euros. Like it goes on sale sometimes, then it's a little bit lower. I think the original sales price at the point where I got it was 130.
And it's polymer, right?
It's polymer.
It's full polymer.
So the top rail is included. So it's a 2-shell system. Let's show it on the camera here. So it's a 2-shell system, and you see that these nuts and bolts are holding it together. So it comes from both sides and just encases the original scope. And these side rails are made out of metal. You can screw them into, but if you are not, then it's just like blank as it here with like some of the screw holes. But the top rail is already included. So if you just want to buy it and only have the system with the like height over bore red dot, then you can just do that with the standard AUG.
The Jagdkommando also has a laser Lichtmodul on the light laser module in German.
That sometimes is connected on the body here. That would require me here to screw some rolls here or use this one. So there would be like another Picatinny rail, and they have a different grip piece here where they have the push button inside of the grip module.
Yeah, I remember that. I had that actually when I was training with the Jägerbataillon 25. Yeah, it's like a differently molded grip with the Velcro actually being recessed.
Exactly. Yeah. And you have a little recess here that's all the way to the bottom, so you can slide this in, but I haven't found one that is compatible with this version. Only the real one for me existed, and I haven't found one yet. It's one of the things that I also want to change in a later build. So I have to...
You would have to get a real one.
Yes, most likely. And then have to get another one of these sets of the Picatinny rails to put them here, and then put some kind of element here.
So claw gear mount with a.
That's one of the NOVRITSCH red dots, but you
It's
can
the V3.
yeah,
V3, but
V3.
any aimpoint style T1.
Exactly.
But I think don't they run an M2 on it?
Depends, yes. They have some aimpoint M2s. I have seen it with an acro actually, because the acro has a much smaller footprint on it and still gives you enough of like sight picture.
Okay.
Acros usually are used for pistols, but I have seen it more commonly now put on guns as a secondary option. The idea behind this originally is that you have no issues aiming with this. For the height of a bore in the distances between 50 meters or less, the height of a bore doesn't matter in this case. So aiming is much faster if you have the height of a bore over the scope. A lot of other companies do that with risers. You see something coming to like height of a bore risers where you go back to putting more height on the.
That became popular in the last years, yeah.
This is a similar system, and yes, the Jagdkommando I've seen using A2 and other variants of red dots as well.
Yeah.
I use the BB-proof one just because it's for airsoft and I feel safer with it.
How do you play with it actually? Do you mostly use the optic or the red dot?
I mostly use the red dot. It's the fastest for me to
I
think.
thought so, yeah.
And only if I'm prone in a position where I'm like laying down and I have a clear shot, then I would aim with the scope, but then I would only use semi-automatic and not full automatic or anything like that.
On a suppression level, tell me, because I got shot by you with this thing in a company game and man, it was quiet. Like that's one of the quietest AUGs I think I've heard. You know,
as you can see, the difference is here with these versions. I use the same barrel length as this one, but
This one's
that's exactly that's the point I wanted to go. I wanted to separate it here, so because you can actually separate it at this point, so you can still see the same point here, and the inner barrel length is still the same original. It stops about here. Yeah. And then I have about 7 to 10 centimeters that are inside open in the silencer, and the rest is just foam. And I put some additional liquid foam on the rear end so that it doesn't wobble around and that the vibrations are directly transferred.
Foam, what do you?
Bauschaum, like spray foam.
Oh, spray foam, okay, yeah. Like construction.
Exactly. And so that it's filled on this end and that the vibrations don't reverb back to you. Because sometimes if you only have the foam plates in the start of the silencer, you get reverb back because of the vibration of the chute. And that's why I filled it up and have the...
So can you still take it off, or you glue this thing
No,
together?
it's screw glued, actually.
It's glued together, okay.
That is one of the issues I also had, that with the spray foam and everything, that sometimes if I didn't screw glue it, like it would, like since I put it on this end here and not on the main threading, that sometimes the suppressor would come loose, so I just used screw glue to just keep it in like secured.
On the rear end, like did you make the gearbox? Did you do something with the gearbox as well? Because it sounded more than just a suppressor mod.
Airsoft Camman had some really good like tutorial to do that, and I didn't make the same thing that he did, but I also added some base foam plates that you can get in packaging and something, and just like put it inside of the gearbox beneath the battery shell, so not only where the battery is, but really inside of the gearbox, just to pattern up the sides a little bit. The only thing I looked up was that it's no melt or drip foam, that it's not heating up or anything, and because sometimes you have the problem foam gets like goopy and like, so I don't want that in my gearbox. But other than that, nothing changed.
Those are the two things, yeah. Well, in my experience, bullwups are in generally more quiet in airsoft because I think you just kind of hide them with your body, right? Like if your chest right here, like your gearbox sits here and you have your arm around it and your chest and you just kind of cover it almost. And then if you add the foam as well and the suppression, then these things can become fairly quiet, yeah. Also because of the barrel lengths, like you have all of that resistance of the BB for the whole travel of the piston, right? Or as much as you can get because you have an insanely long barrel in here. So you can get them fairly quiet.
I think it's one of the most accurate AUGs in the short range, like from the overall length that I ever played. And
AUGs or AUGs?
AUGs.
Oh, AUGs, okay.
And because basically the barrel length is that of a comparable, almost like the M16 from Marui.
Yeah.
And so it gets really accurate. And
We spent some time on the hopper. I'm glad to hear that. Cool. Yeah, I really dig the look. Like it caught my eye, which is again why we make this video. Comment down below, how do you guys like the build? Maybe some input on what could be done differently. And I would love to say that if you want to build one like this, you can find it on our website. Actually, you can't. Like half of the stuff we don't even have. But I'm sure you guys are gonna find your way. Except maybe for this one, I think that one is very, very hard to find.
There are surplus sites where you can find that. For example, collector sites or Zip Militaria or something where they have an abundance of these. Still lying around, like I think they go for between 70 and 100. You can find them
in Austria, I think, yeah.
Or even Germany.
Germany, yeah. But in the US or something,
yeah, okay.
You're gonna have a hard time finding this stuff. Good. Thanks for watching, guys.